The least complicated option in front of you is often the best, but it's the hardest sometimes to either recognize or accept. And there's even an Indigo Girls song, the hardest to learn was the least complicated. And the older I get, the more I understand that sort of turn of phrase. Here's what I was seeing for you, Sagittarius. There was a lot, and I wanted for like simplification to come through for you because it just seemed unnecessarily complicated. One thing that I was shown was like a triangle and then relationship energy. It doesn't necessarily mean like a love triangle. It could mean that you're trying to connect with like a job opportunity, but they have their sights set on someone else. It could be a friend in your life that's starting to drift away and move towards another opportunity or another person. And yes, it could be a love situation where someone is attached. They're not quite ready to dive into something new. So without any hesitation, in each of these scenarios, I can guarantee that you can do better. You deserve a person, an opportunity, an energy that's open, that's readily available, and that's meeting you on the level. Equal levels of interest, reciprocity, and again, uncomplicated. So that's your first message. For the second message, I actually got some very specific things around health. I do want to put a little disclaimer up. I'm not a doctor. I am a psychic medium though, so I'm going to report what I picked up on in dreams, meditation, and just my ability to kind of tune into the general frequency of the sign. So here's what I saw. A need for more fiber, for less sugar, and for better sleep regulation. So if any of those resonate, work with your healthcare professional, okay? I just was seeing a need for balance in that area. Now let's move to the time portion. So yes, in addition to getting enough sleep, what I was looking at, it was almost like missing time. So for some of you, you could be falling asleep at work. You could be so busy that you're looking at the clock thinking like, how did I get here? Where did the time go? Or you're just not putting enough time in for the things that you love the most. So let's create better time management this month overall so that you can feel happy, centered, and like you're not just sort of like constantly on the go. Before we continue, my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is for Sagittarius. It's good from August 25th through September 25th. The reason for the switch up this month and actually putting dates on it is because I just moved about 6,000 miles from California to Spain. I had a little bit of an interruption in my production schedule. So that means that a couple of months, it was just like sporadic posting. So I'm basically going to catch everybody up in October, but the final few signs this month will actually get a little bit in September. So it's going to be good. You get an extra reading. So that's the way I'm saying thanks to those that had to wait a while. With that being said, let's check in on Apollo. He's right behind me. And then we are going to give the cards a shuffle and see what's in store. Oh, by the way, this is a temporary place that I'm in. I know a lot of you have been asking about my apartment. I'll be here for the next 3 months, and hopefully by that time I can find a more permanent place. So baby steps. As promised, here's Apollo. Let's give him a little scratch on the head, a kiss, and then we're going to get started on your reading, Sagittarius. All right, so the first thing that came through here is the Empress card. This is in the past position. So with this being in the past, it's bringing up themes of basically accountability, but also empowerment. And I love that we actually see the maternal energy here. Some of you are working hard to find a way to individualize yourself, to differentiate yourself from yourself and your parents, or how you were expected to be, let's say like in school and with society, and what you want to be now. So you're cutting the cord in the solar plexus that would typically be connected to like the maternal energy here. And you're saying, I have to do this for myself. Don't be surprised in this moment if people ask you something like this, are you sure? Or why are you doing this? It's not necessarily them calling out your decision-making process, but rather they're asking you, are you ready? Is this what you're ready to do? Because the encouragement here is to take this month by the horns and go for it. Really own the path that you're about to embark upon. And that's what I see here. The good news is, as we're looking at something that represents your past 2 or 3 months, you've done the work, you've done the homework. So I see you as capable, powerful, and ready, but do you? Are you the mother or the child in this particular card? The encouragement is to step more towards the mother, towards the divine feminine, because in this moment in time, you're actually more prepared than you think, okay? Not surprisingly, we have a card here that's connected with actions and words. Basically, Spirit is encouraging you not just to talk the talk, but also walk the walk. What I do love about this illustration, if I pull it really closely, is the pineal gland here. So this is where you can see through a situation, and if there's something that you need to talk about, like let's say you're identifying one of the things that I really was connecting to that triangle, which the more I'm thinking about it, it could represent like a devil energy where someone just can't basically come through in the way that you need them to. You could just speak up and say, are you sure you want to do this? Or is there something else we need to talk about? Like, just get to the heart of the matter. Queen of Swords doesn't sugarcoat. She's not afraid to go in and say, I think we should do this, or this isn't what we talked about, or why is this happening? So use your words, and they can be both inspirational or they can be something that defends you. This is also connected to the law. So if you need to work with a lawyer, or if you need to scrutinize something, a document or a promise, this is the time to do it. People will listen to you because when we look at these two cards together, we have a lot of power. So this is power, and this is the execution on that power, the articulation, the action. And we need to see a little bit of both intentions and actions. And that's the big sort of like nudge from Spirit. What are you doing to follow through? For those of you that are writers out there, this is the month where you really want to get things down on paper. Now, when I mention writing, it can also include technical writing and formulas. So if you are a chemist, or if you are an engineer doing coding, or if you're someone that has come up with a new process and you're recording this in technical writing, this is a great time to record all of that data and information. Make sure you're capturing it somehow. That's a big download that I'm getting with that as well. As we take a look at the near future, we have a great card here, the Nine of Cups, but it is reversed. First, let's just talk about it. It's wish fulfillment. Things can actually come through and you might be getting a second chance at something. But when the card is reversed, it can also feel a little overwhelming. For this, why don't we take a look at the traditional version of the card? So as you can see here, lots to love, lots to celebrate, but it can feel intense. So sometimes we get this surge of emotion coming through. Here's an example that Spirit's showing me. Think of a wedding or a funeral. Sometimes it's like seemingly inappropriate. So at the funeral, there may be someone talking about the person that you love, and you go from crying to laughing because it's like a funny memory, and then you start crying again because you miss them. This is like the Nine of Cups in the reverse position. It's almost like the energy's arcing up and down, like when a power line is down, and a little bit of short circuiting. Same thing like graduation. Have you ever watched graduates walk the stage? And it's a combination of emotions like laughter, tears, just not kind of knowing what to do with themselves. Birth of a child can do the same thing. When someone breaks up with you, it's that discombobulating emotion where it's like, wait a second, what happened? So you just need a moment to process. It could be very good. It could be very challenging. It will pass, and there will be a normal period after. The challenge this month is keeping your head on straight, okay? Let's go ahead now and look at a catalyst. Let's see how we can pull all of this together, keep you grounded. Literally, I was kind of getting that energy of kind of like if a power line is down. So what can we do to help you normalize what you're feeling and what you're seeing? So we have the Ace of Swords, speaking, writing, talking to other people around you, finding a way to get it out. I think that's really important. The Ace of Swords is in the upright position. So in this moment in time, it's also saying, once something has come to pass. So I talked about like graduation, for example. Then it's really about thinking about what tomorrow brings, like not focusing so much on the door that is closed, but the door that is opening. This will help you see that ends and beginnings are absolutely tied together. And I feel like that's what's happening for some of you. Something has come to a close, something new is happening. And for some of you, you might be getting a second chance to go after a dream. Maybe you're going back to school. Maybe there's someone in your life that's coming around and the timing's right this time. Something is connecting. Remember what I said at the beginning, though. It shouldn't feel complicated. There should be a sense of ease and fluidity with this, and this time you know it's right. If you're getting any sort of friction or blocks or even just like full stops, then put your energy in a different direction, okay? Let's go ahead now and expand this forecast. We're going to go a little bit deeper and look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. The Magician is one of the best cards that can come through in this particular category because it represents the ability for your body to heal, for miracles to happen when it comes to your general health and well-being, and also it is speaking to the power of meditation. So I love what I see with this. The other thing here is it's important to pick something to focus on because as much as we love the Magician, it can represent being distracted. So pick one area of your health that you'd like to make an impact on. Consistently follow through on that like we saw with the Queen of Swords, and some great things can happen. Also, she's super psychic in this particular deck. So in my own life, I've experienced healing that surprised even me. I've talked about my ear before where I had almost, well, it wasn't a complete loss, but I lost some hearing and then I got treatment, medical treatment in the form of like prednisone. But in addition to that, I had like eustachian tube dysfunction and it took another 6 to 8 months for that to heal. But I continued to work with regular Western medicine, but I also meditated and worked with my own healing modalities to open up and clear that. And I really do credit a combination of the two. I never think we need to do one over the other, but combining a little bit of meditation, a little bit of Eastern approaches could be very, very beneficial. This is also, like we can see here, art. We're looking at the Magician paint. So we have a card here connected to painting and writing, or painting and speaking and singing. So this is a great time to get involved with extracurricular activities like painting, singing, dancing, writing, anything that allows you to take what's in your head and in your heart and create something external with it, something productive with it. And I'm getting all of that as a download for this. Let's look at all the cards right here really quickly for health. The Empress can represent extension of the family, pregnancy. This particular version of the Queen of Swords is an intuitive awakening. And it might be a perfect time for you if you're having that intuitive awakening to seek out community so that you can talk about that, learn more about that, and really embrace that. Heightened emotions and heightened sensitivity to the point that sometimes it feels like it's too much, the Nine of Cups. A little bit of a gentle nudge here not to overdo it when it comes to anything, so moderation. What sometimes this can represent is leaning on substances, overworking, overdoing anything. And if that's happening, you may need to work with someone to help you rein that back in. And then once again, the power of writing and journaling. It doesn't matter if it's for anybody else but you, because when you put things into writing, it's an active, it's a contract, it's an act of creation, it's cementing it, it's magic. So feel free to connect with all of that if you'd like to. Let's move on to wealth, your resources, your life purpose, and your career. And let's see what Spirit has to say here. Ooh, I like this. Okay, creativity keeps coming through time and again for you this month. So we have the Knight of Cups. Again, creative endeavors, creative expression, very much a part of this. And of course, if we focus on the cup that he's carrying, it's also about receptivity. Are you open to receive something? If you are, you have a great chance of manifesting it this month. Your positivity, your creativity, and your sensitivity also are going to help you stand out as a person that people want to connect with. Let me go ahead and break this down into some smaller categories. For those of you that are currently employed, here's what I see. First of all, you've been doing the work here. The Empress card is showing your ability to lead, to communicate well. The thing that could get in the way right now is your ability to deal with like stress and situations here. With the Nine of Cups in reverse, sometimes it's just overwhelming. So stress management is important, but you can work your way through any problem or challenge in front of you this month. And communication gets like double accentuated here. So speak up, listen to others. Also, maybe like listen to what people are asking for. And if you can deliver on that, it shows your capacity to like really basically follow through. Ultimately, again, I feel like you're set up for success here, but being willing to express yourself and share your ideas is the component here to success. Not a lot of limits, except letting emotions get in the way. So let's try not to do that. Entrepreneurs, showing a more playful side of your brand or your personality. So if you're usually very highly curated in your, Instagram or social media, this is about showing a little bit more of a slice of life when it comes to you as the entrepreneur or your product and how it is going to connect directly with people. Make it more human, make it more relatable, and make yourself a little bit more relatable and out there. That means sometimes not being perfect, not having a lot of filters, not having everything so curated. If there are unhappy customers, clients, or employees, it's best to deal with it sooner than later. Make sure that the letter of the law is being followed and contracts are being executed correctly. If you need to revise them, revise them. If you need a lawyer, get a lawyer. Ultimately, though, we're seeing a lot of cards here representing your best qualities: leadership, communication, creativity, and again, likability and adaptability. I think it's a good month for you as long as you show a little bit more of your personality is what I'm getting with this. For those of you that are seeking work, can you find it? Absolutely. The magician has the capacity to reach out and either create something, maybe getting more entrepreneurial, or identify a gap that someone has. And you could talk to them and just say, hey, I have this skill set. It looks like you have this need. What if we partner up? So you could actually pitch an idea or pitch the sort of idea of a job to someone if you have the capacity to reach out to them. If you're just applying for work, which I know a lot of you might be doing, don't let the general emotion of around rejection or anything like that get to you. Remember what I talked about, the triangle. I think you might be like one of the last two candidates for something. And there's a chance that other person may slip through the cracks because I still see the triangle, but I also see like devil energy attached to it. So someone may be overstating their skills or may not be available. And if it's meant to be, it will be. And if it isn't, it isn't. And have a sense of calm and certainty that exists with knowing that, okay? Definitely speak up and get out there. This is a good time for networking. So if you don't have a system of like a professional network or friends that you can connect with, this is a time to build that because new jobs can come from those connections in your life. But I'm getting creativity and entrepreneurial ownership even in the job seeking portion. So maybe you're deciding to do like a little bit of a side hustle in your own business and you're still looking for work. So these categories can sometimes bleed over one another. And I'm seeing a little bit of that here with job seekers. If you're a student right now, I see a desire for more extracurricular stuff, or maybe you're leaning more into your artistic side because Magician and Knight of Cups, super creative. This Queen of Swords is also leaning on innovation. So even if you're doing something highly technical like application development or you're a medical student, maybe you're looking at new and emerging technologies and new and emerging applications of those skills. So there's something about this that seems research-based or innovation-based, and that might be your sweet spot when it comes to assembling your course of study. Lots of skills around communication, and I think it doesn't matter what you decide to do for a living, the ability to present yourself, present your ideas, and communicate will aid everyone. Even learning another language, which is something that I'm doing now. All of those things will help you, and it doesn't matter where you're at in your life, you can still do it. Take a note from me. All right, looking at retirees. Many of you may be pouring a little bit more time and energy into hobbies. So like I said, painting, drawing, speaking, writing, acting, dancing, something that's just fun. And there is an ability here to mentor, teach, or step into the role of support for someone else. Just make sure you're having some fun in your own life. This is your moment to shine. All right, let's move on now to love and relationships and see what's coming through here and all aspects of your sort of the people that are coming through in your life. Friends, family, loved ones. And we have healing coming through in this particular card. So the Five of Pentacles comes through oftentimes because we have an experience in the past that chips away a little bit at our self-confidence, and we're left wondering, am I good enough? Can I do this? Is it me? No, it takes two to tango. So whatever happened in the past, it was at least 50% the other person. But in addition to that, sometimes there are people that lack the capacity to love you, to understand you, and to see your potential. So here's your traditional version of the card. Both of these people are dealing with their own problems. This person is in their own space, so is this one. Neither of them can really come to one another's aid. thankfully we have something behind them. There's another resource in your life where you can put a little bit more, where you can lean on, let's put it that way. It may not be your immediate circle of friends or family, and this is a month to seek out those support systems. Now we're going to break this down and talk about how that Five of Pentacles can basically affect different levels of relationship status. So if you're currently partnered, the Five of Pentacles is self-confidence. And so what happens sometimes in a relationship is your partner may need a lot of validation, or you may need a lot of validation because in the past someone came through and took away the self-confidence. So you can only do so much, but this is also an opportunity to get therapy, to also tell your partner, maybe we can do this together, but you don't have to fix it all. That's just the why. I can't tell you how to fix it, but I can tell you why some of this is coming through. There could also be, we have mother and child here. If some of you are living with an in-law, or there's someone in your life that kind of triggers or mimics that energy that you had with your parent, I see some of that coming to the surface and it wants to be healed. Okay? Other things with the family, deciding to potentially expand the family, since we see the child on this card. And I love that we have both the Magician and the Ace of Swords. If there's something that you want in the relationship, emotionally, physically, whatever it is, intellectually, speak up, because we see a receptive energy. This can be fixed because it feels like there's openness. So just keep talking, okay? Very good overall. The single and looking crowd out there right now, can you find somebody? Absolutely. We have a potential match here with the Queen of Swords, so an air sign could be coming through, a Gemini, Aquarius, or a Libra. We see also the ability for you to be swept off your feet, so ground yourself. Also, potentially a water sign. The thing that I see as a challenge for you is confidence. Don't let the inner saboteur get in the way. So if you're feeling good, if things are going in the right direction, trust it. And if not, don't force the connection. And because I saw the triangle, and I mentioned that there might be someone that's unavailable, you deserve someone who can fully meet you where you're at. Don't settle for less, okay? If you're single and happy, good for you. For the single and happy bunch out there, here's what I see. Right now, you have great potential to fix a financial situation in your life. You can also heal something that might be going on with your health. In addition to that, just so much creativity. So follow through on your goals, your dreams, and your ideas this month. You have the potential to surprise yourself, to get a couple of things done. It looks really, really productive overall, okay? But definitely focus on health and well-being. I mentioned earlier some of those things that you could be looking at, from fiber to sugar. And here we see also circulation when it comes to the Five of Pentacles, making sure you're stretching your legs, you're moving enough, etc. And not working to the point of exhaustion, because that sometimes can just be getting sick. All right, now let's look at the Destiny card and see, where's all this taking you? Where are you headed? All right, we have the Knight of Swords, which is one of the fastest moving cards. Things are about to pick up. So by the end of next month, by the end of September, kicking off into October, I think you're going to blink your eyes. Now I understand the missing time. There just may be so much going on that you have a hard time getting some of it done, or it just goes by in the blink of an eye. Take time to be present. Really make sure that you're here, that you're putting things into writing, that you're not missing out on stuff, and that you're also having some fun along the way. When you speak something into existence, it has the chance to take flight. This is a powerful speaker. This is quick action. This is a signature on the dotted line. This is another opportunity that's knocking. So I feel like that's the missing time thing, is that you're going to need or want more. So make sure that you're not wasting it as we go along. All right, now we're going to look at a combination of cards here. I'm going to look at your breakthrough opportunity and the potential block for that. And let's just give ourselves a little bit more room for this. And then we'll look at your final question in a moment. Okay, so breakthrough and potential block. Breakthrough, block. All right, let's talk. So for your breakthrough, we have the Death card. Change, movement, finality, something coming to a close. What could block it? Getting stuck in an old way of doing things, or focusing so much on the minutia, on the little details, that you miss the big picture. So take time to recognize the larger changes that are happening And even if a process feels comfortable to you, it has to evolve. And I think this is especially true for those of you that own a business or just have a certain way of doing things. It's kind of like, think of your body. If you're exercising, you have to alternate the parts of the body that you exercise from day to day so it doesn't like stagnate, so that there's more efficacy. So change things up and don't be afraid to change the process. Okay, now it's your turn to think of one final question, and let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming through. All right, we have the sun, and the sun is in the reverse position. This is birthing, releasing, and really allowing yourself to just have some fun. So the sun card usually is a little kid riding on a horse. And when the card is reversed like it was today, it's saying you're closer to the finish line than you think. You may be trying to perfect something. You might be holding on to something longer than you should. We just got the death card as your breakthrough. So something is meaning to come to a close. This is the other side of it. This is birth or rebirth. And oftentimes when we have either the sun or judgment in reverse, it's saying, think of this as a clean slate and a fresh breath of air. This is your moment to try again. And this time, what if it is a little less complicated? What if it's easier? Wouldn't that be great? I think so. All right, my friends, that is everything for this month. And again, we're doing something special. So just to remind you of the time frame here, this is going to take you from the 25th of August to the 25th of September. All signs are going to be caught up in October, and I appreciate your flexibility in the meantime. To find out more about me, you can always go to my website. From there, you can sign up for a newsletter. You can give back with PayPal. I do appreciate that. You can book a private reading if you'd like an in-depth reading with me. And you can also give me a follow on social media platforms. All of my platforms are basically Nicholas Ashbaugh, but the direct links are on my website. Right here on YouTube, you can give back by simply liking the video, leaving a comment, let me know what resonated, and subscribing if you're brand new or if you've watched a long time and haven't subscribed. And of course, you can leave a sticker with your comment as well, and that is a great way to show some love and support. Thank you so much for your time today. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you again for the October readings. In the meantime, check out the daily, weekly, and monthly videos also on my main channel page. Take care.